Well, I'm hoping to make this a short video about my opinion now of the Venus Project in light of watching Zeitgeist Moving Forward, part one of that, human nature, and my brief discussions. I wouldn't say brief, they were fairly lengthy, discussion with some of the supporters of the Venus Project and the Zeitgeist Movement members. And my opinion is it is all destined to fail, not from merely the economic standpoint that I have been harping on since the beginning, but now for something much dire, much worse, which is this whole idea that they can engineer the human animal. I don't know if any one of these people, whether Peter Joseph or Jacques Fresco or Roxanne, this other person I guess that has worked with Jacques Fresco since the beginning, um, or any of the members that I talked to at the Team Speaks or have ever read Plato's Republic. Now, granted, Plato's Republic was kind of built around the idea of philosopher, kings, and hierarchy, but Plato in his time, back way back, nearly what, 2,000, 3,000 years ago, was talking about the same exact things you guys are talking about. You know? And talking about making the man engineered. And throughout history, we've seen various theories proposed, or ideas in general proposed, to engineer the man better. I mean, even Confucianism is essentially social theory, and hierarchy applied to a massive population. There's a real experiment for you. How's China doing? Yeah, it might be an economic power, but it's still one of the top human rights abusers, right up there with countries like Cuba, Libya, United States, Russia. Ooh, really nice for various reasons. But for China, it's inherent to their culture to not consider human happiness as the highest goal that they could achieve. And so, looking at other more modern experiments, Cultural Revolution, Hitler and the wonder sciences of the German scientists out there, Mengele and so on, new Soviet man kind of projects out of the USSR, New Harmony, I think in Indiana, this group of anarchists in the 19th century, many other social organizations that tried to do radical diversions. The Jacobins of France during the French Revolution, great example there. Of all these social experiments where they try to re-engineer the human condition, and every time fails every time. And I think it comes to the fact that they all depend upon it, and so does the theories that they're cherry picking in that video, especially the first part, and trying to stitch them together. Um, show humans as a passive creature that just simply sucks up the environment, has a little bit of genetics in the mix, and somehow this creates the human animal. And I'm sort of like, wait, what? What about the human animal thinking and working from what knowledge they have, and then possibly having some inborn capacity of reasoning? Because guess what? In psychology, we don't know why, especially in neurology, why the human animal can think qualitatively different from, say, a chimpanzee. Yeah, we got a bigger frontal lobes here, great for abstraction, great for memory. But really, neural density, if we compare to humans, chimps, gorillas, hell, even orangutans, African gray parrot, the numerous water mammals, dolphins, whales, they all have the same basic configurations necessary to have abstract reasoning, emotional intelligences, definitely to our level, but yet not a single one of them has ever built, other than humans, civilization. Hell, ants, termites build more complicated civilizations and don't even have the same neural complexity, even when you count all the individual termites and ants in a colony. So, something's going on here that they don't want to admit, that there's some individual capacity of reasoning that is always isolated from environment, and from genetics to act as the third pillar or the third leg of this tripod, by which then, civilization is possible for humans. Be that as it may, the ultimate thing that I get from this is that they don't realize that by pushing for their incomplete, inadequate, in my opinion, theory of human engineering, of so-called social engineering, they will ultimately bring about the demise of human civilization. Luckily, they're on the fringe, so perhaps in terms of being able to influence the discourse of the sciences and of society at large, theirs is a minimal influence. But so was the Nazis. They were a fringe group when they started. So was the Republican Party before it, during the abolition period. It was a fringe party. It was considered crazy. It was sort of like the Tea Party of today. um, these movements can come out of nowhere, look like completely, wackadoo, and then all of a sudden they're in power, and then they get to do whatever they want. And so it's just a warning to anyone and everyone, and especially those people in the Venus Project, hopefully people on the fence, that this is not the movement you want to be part of. If they are advocating human engineering of a massive scale, it's going to fail. It killed millions in China. Imagine if they could do it on a worldwide scale, killing hundreds of millions, billions of human beings, all well-intentioned. They all want to make a better condition for the world, but the unintended consequences of engineering humans without having a complete understanding of what it is to be human. I mean, the human animal is one of the things in the entire set of knowledge that we have. We know more about the universe and even some of the physics of it, more so than we know about how the human learns, or even how our cousins in the part of the great ape family, the chimps and so on, how they learn. We don't know this shit. We don't know why. We don't know why even a bird can understand and construct sentences like an African gray parrot without all of that. They don't even have a frontal lobe system. They have something equivalent that is more equivalent to a highly complex hypothalamus. But yet, here they are. They can figure out things in their head just as well as you and I can. Ravens and parrots and so on. Sorry, we don't have that kind of knowledge. That's my apology, my honest apology to the Venus Project supporters like Frank Lee and so on. I'm sorry, there is no science on Earth that can fully describe the human animal sufficiently as to engineer either a better environment for the human animal, necessarily, nor to engineer a better human animal that could avoid some of the pitfalls that you think is bad about human society. Your idealism is blinding you all, if you support such a thing. If you are more on the fence, like I said earlier, again, please just walk away. This is not your movement. If you want to improve the world, help out Oxfam. If you want to help out the world, I don't know, donate to the Red Cross or Red Crescent. Do something in your local community. But the Venus Project is not the thing for you. This is an organization and a movement that will ultimately lead itself to either complete and utter obscurity, and if it doesn't lead itself to obscurity, it will lead itself to some disastrous failure in the attempt to implement its movement's ideals, and it may wind up killing people. And I hate to sound like storm clouds are rising, but I think he has a better understanding of history than even I do, and I have a lot of history books. So, sorry. No, I'll never support the Venus Project. Ever. That's just that.